Coming up, as a half-term begins, the government refuses to U-turn over free school meals.
ITV Lunchtime News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good afternoon. The Prime Minister is under increasing pressure from his own MPs to provide free school meals during the holidays. But this lunchtime, Boris Johnson insisted the government is already providing enough support for struggling families. Mr Johnson highlighted extra funding for councils and increases to universal credit payments. But he also praised the work of the hundreds of charities and businesses who have stepped up to help their local communities. England footballer Marcus Rashford has this morning spoken out to deny a claim by the Health Secretary that ministers have been in touch with him about his campaign to end food poverty. Our political correspondent Libby Vina reports. With half-term underway, hundreds of businesses across the country have responded to Marcus Rashford's call to offer support to struggling families. But also joining us from High Wycombe is a great response so far. How much have you raised so far in terms of cash, and what is your target overall? Support for this, but thank you. The government has confirmed that the entire crew of an oil tanker is safe following a dramatic military rescue operation off the coast of the Isle of Wight. It's believed members of the Special Boat Service boarded the 228-metre-long Nave Andromeda after fears were raised that the ship may have been hijacked by stowaways as it headed from Lagos in Nigeria to Southampton. 7 people are being held. Chloe Keedy reports. Martha Fairley is in Hythe, just across the water from where the ship is now docked in Southampton. And Martha, what's the situation there now? The Welsh Government has refused to drop a lockdown ban on non-essential items in supermarkets, despite claims the policy is leading to chaos and confusion. 17 days of new restrictions came into force at 6 p.m. on Friday, with shops that sell a range of goods being told that they could only offer so-called essential items. All over the weekend, supermarkets cordoned off clothes and electrical items, with shoppers expressing frustration over the different ways the rules were being interpreted. Rupert Evelyn is in Chepstow. Rupert, what's the latest then? Parts of Nottinghamshire are expected to enter the highest Tier 3 restrictions in England in the coming days after talks went on through the weekend. Well, to the US, where things are heating up on the campaign trail, with the election now just 8 days away. A record number of early votes have been cast, totalling around 60 million. Our correspondent Emma Murphy. The high street pharmacy Boots is to offer COVID tests that will provide a result in 12 minutes. The nasal swab test will be available at 50 different stores at the cost of £120 from next month. But there are some concerns over accuracy and safety of customers. Sangeeta Lam, what can you tell us about these tests?
So they're offering 2, and that's the concern. There's also some concern that it could be encouraging people who may think they have the virus to leave their home.
Tributes have been paid to former television presenter Frank Boff following his death, aged 87, in a care home.
You're watching.
And finally, a night of celebration for one of the industries hit the hardest by the pandemic, live theatre. This year's Olivier Awards had a much different feel to previous ceremonies. It was socially distanced with no live audience. It did still, however, manage to showcase the explosive energy of the country's leading and much missed theatrical talent. Sangeeta Candola reports. And that is it for now. Charlene White will be here with the ITV Evening News at 6:30. The news where you are follows the national weather. But from everyone here on the Lunchtime team, bye-bye. Hello again. Now the main stories in London. As pressure grows on the government to provide children with free meals over the half-term, 27 local authorities in the capital have decided to feed children during the break. A 29-year-old man has been stabbed to death at a home in Croydon. Police. Elite Transport for London document has estimated driverless tube trains would cost £7 billion and represent what it calls poor value for money. Prince Harry has said his privileged upbringing as a member of the royal family meant he had no understanding of unconscious racial bias. A magical exhibition at the Natural History Museum has been given the go-ahead after it was delayed because of the pandemic. The wonder of nature. All right, weather now. Here's Helen Plint. And that is all from us for now. We will be back at 6. Until then, enjoy your afternoon. Bye-bye.